She is the special guest star, Kayla Gray. I wish I had a jacket like that.
Did you? No, we all wish we wore a jacket like Mike, James Bond.
Yeah.
At least he's wearing shorts or pants this time around. The last time we hosted, I'm not sure if that was a thing.
Really?
Yeah, we actually hosted a show together.
Who? That Mike wasn't wearing pants?
Yeah.
Oh, that's from a long time ago.
Long time ago.
We've got past that. We're now
Way
old
past
friends. This was a huge game on the pitch on Wednesday night. Montreal, a must-win as they try to get into a playoff spot.
And, of course, when a time where they had to be really picking things up, they've been falling apart at the seams. Taking on the Whitecaps, who, let's face it, 0% chance of making that postseason. Picking up at the 17th minute to St. Ricketts. Centers, Michael Trinos gets across to Jordy Reyna. It goes 1-0 Vancouver. Moments later, more pressure from the Whitecaps. Trinos taken down in the box by Samuel Piet, sending Vancouver to the spot. My friends, that brings us to our TSN turning point. Evan Bush faced 6 penalties this year. All 6 have gone in. Reyna steps to the spot. Stopped by Bush, but Ricketts quickly converts the rebound, but just hang on. After VAR, Ricketts called for encroachment while Bush is called for leaving his line. The Canadian has his first goal with his new club called back. Reyna forced to retake the penalty. Bush making 2 penalty saves just moments apart, and that would shift the momentum of this thing. So we go to the 34th minute now. Derek Cornelius can't secure the tackle on Max Urruti. Slides it across, but it's off to Neil Henry and in for the own goal. Hate to see it. Montreal desperately needing a win here. 3 points below the playoff line in the East beyond Toronto. And they pull even at 1. Moments later, Impact crosses to the box. Urruti is there once again. Chest to volley for the beautiful goal. Second in just 4 minutes in this match. Montreal takes a 2-1 lead into half. 77th minute now. Impact with some nice passing here. Lassi Lapalainen fires to the top of the box, but Crapo makes an outstanding save, and that would keep this game close. So the best of his 8 stops in the match coming right there. 81st minute, Whitecaps still down 1 with a free kick from outside the box. Ali Adnan with a hard shot on goal. Bush does it again. The Impact win their game under new head coach Wilmer Cabrera for the first time. So looky who's back in the picture. Montreal moving into that final playoff spot in the East. They have 1 more win than Toronto FC. Impact seeking their first playoff berth since 2016, while TFC has been in the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, winning the MLS Cup back in 2017.
Atlanta and Toronto. There's some history between these 2 ball clubs. Jays beat the Braves to win their first ever World Series in 1992. And hey, I'm just going to throw this out there, but we may be inching, I stress, inching towards these teams getting to that point again. Jays with the youngest lineup in baseball. The Braves, the 3rd youngest pitching staff of all of baseball. But the big difference here is Braves are top of their division right now. So no waiting for them. Closer of their short series, top 2, Denny Echeverria to 3rd. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. can't get his glove on it. Jr.'s 15 errors, second only Rafael Devers among Major League third basemen. A few batters later, 2 on for Ronald Acuna Jr. He finds the wall, scores a pair. 2 batters later, Freddie Freeman. His mom is from just down the road, my hometown, Peterborough, Ontario. Knocks one just over the head of Vladdy, picks up the Braves' 3rd double of the inning as they explode for 5 runs. I assume Freddie had a lot of friends and family there. Braves catcher Francisco Cervelli left the game with a calf injury in the 2nd. Tyler Flowers replaces him. Flowers. Ball gets by him. Teoscar Hernandez scores from 3rd. It was ruled a pass ball by Flowers, lead singer of the Killers. Next inning, another ball gets past Flowers. Randall Grichuk into 3rd safely. 2 batters later, Hernandez goes down swinging to end the inning. In the 6th, Jays are down 2 on for Vladdy. Into right. Danny Jansen getting the way. Acuna Jr.'s throw. Oh, we know his arm. Don't do it. No, it's not in time. He's okay. He's safe. Jays cut the deficit to 1. Top 7. Bases loaded for Echeverria. And
he goes after the first pitch, and it's
that's going to touch green. 2 runs score, including Josh Donaldson. Braves win easily, 9-4.
All right, Yankees taking on the Mariners. Justice Sheffield making just his second start of the season for Seattle. Fourth batter of the game, Gary Sanchez, unloads. This thing has gone to left, and that just stays fair for a two-run homer. Sanchez now has 30 homers this season. Wasn't totally sure that it would stay fair, but it does. 2-0 Yankees early on. So let's take this thing back to last season with Paxton hurled a no-hitter against Toronto. Kyle Seager helped Paxton throw the no-hitter with his beauty play, diving and getting the runner at first. Paxton probably bought him a little beer after that one. Now Paxton gets to face Seager as the Big Maple makes his return to the Pacific Northwest. Bottom two. Paxton gets his former teammate swimming. Big Maple didn't allow a hit through 3 innings against the Mariners. So we go to the 4th inning now. Seager, he's going to respond here. 2-run homer. And that was the only hit Paxton allowed in the game. The Big Maple returns to Seattle, going 5 innings, striking out 4, giving up just the 2 runs. This game all tied up at 2. Top 5 now. Now 4-2 Yanks. Aaron Judge, he'd extend the lead. Launching one to left. That's his 18th long ball of the season. Now has a homer in 5 of his last 6 games. Yankees put up 4 runs in the frame as they sweep the M's. 7-3 the final. And Paxton has really turned it around after a rough month of July. He's won all 6 of his starts this month, allowing a total of just 14 runs in that span.
Rays and Astros. Garrett Cole, AL Pitcher of the Month in June and July. 3-0 in August so far. Cole strikes out the side, set a new Astros record with his 12th straight win. He would if he won this. He hasn't lost since May 22nd. He struck out the side in the first. Top 3 Cole. Another one of his 14 Ks, passes Justin Verlander for most Ks this season. Cole still on the bump in the 7th, tied at 3.
When most pitchers are tiring.
Hitters 0 for 33 against him this season past the 6th inning. Joey Wendell, the stat ruiner, leadoff triple. Cole's first hit allowed after 6 all season. 2 batters later, Jesus Aguilar brings him in, breaks the tie. Bottom 7, George Springer. Bloop single.
That's gonna drop.
Houston, they put up 5 runs in the 8th, and they win it 8-6.
All right, some really good news out of Cleveland as pitcher Carlos Carrasco is expected to come off the 60-day injured list on Sunday. The 32-year-old has been out of action since late May after being diagnosed with leukemia. Here's Terry Francona.
We've been pretty honest and open and transparent about what's going on, and the way we've kind of said it is, you know, when he started throwing bullpens, just to see his face light up and then have him in the dugout and see our guys react to him was really cool.
It's great news as he is on track to play his first game since May 30th. We go to the game, though. 2nd inning, Dawel Lugo
2-1 pitch.
lines one to short, but Francisco Lindor, nice leaping grab, and he's all fired up about it, too. Let's take things back to Tuesday night, Lindor.
Where it's all said and done.
Hits one to left. This thing hits the top of the wall, but would stay in play. Lindor would settle for a double, but likely wondering just what he has got to do for a homer. Back to Wednesday, game tied at 2.
Lindor drives one.
Hits one to center, and this one again off the top of the wall. But this time it bounces over. His 24th of the year. The Indians take this 4-2, the final. And here are the AL Central and Wild Card standings. The Twins and Tribe both won, meaning Minnesota maintains a 3.5-game lead in the Central. Good news for Cleveland. Oakland and Tampa both lost, meaning Cleveland is now 1.5 games clear of Oakland at the top of the Wild Card standings. Well, after basically telling Maria Sharapova to collect her things and go, Serena Williams one step closer to attempt at a historic 24th slam. Now, this isn't all me taking shots at Serena's dominance over Sharapova, but it's become routine and predictable. How Williams deals with the young, unfamiliar up-and-comers has become the most intriguing at this point in her career. And Williams taking on 17-year-old Katie McNally, who received a wild card into the Open. And Serena back under the lights on Ash. She crushed Maria Sharapova in the first round, but had a tougher time here. Serving at 5-all in the opening set, facing break point. can't handle McNally's return. The 121st ranked player in the world would take the first set, and Serena has never lost to a teenager at the U.S. Open, but on serve in the second, Williams with break point, blasts a return. McNally just can't get to that, giving Serena her first break of the match. Later, Serena now up 5-3 on set point, comes forward, puts the volley into the open court. The 23-time Grand Slam champ battles back to force a third set, taking a 5-1 lead in the decider. Williams now with match point, rips a huge return as she survives a second-round scare in 3 sets.
Venus Williams lost just one game in the first round, taking on Olena Svitolina. Svitolina 4-2 in the first. Break point, paints the line with the forehand. Svitolina took the opening set 6-4. Between sets, a coffee arrives for Venus. Now the ball boy says, Venus, hang on. Then he's like, what do I do with this coffee? Eventually leaves it at her chair. And then she doesn't even take a sip.
Coffee doesn't touch the coffee. Is that a thing, or just someone? I just made it up. Oh, I like Somebody went sprinting off to get that. The ball boy rushed to it, and it's still sitting there getting cold.
My mother's of the belief that you drink hot liquids in hot weather and cold liquids in cold weather.
She's onto something.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Venus jumped out to a 3-1 second set lead. Can't execute the half volley on break point. Svitolina wins, winning 4 straight games. Venus serving to extend the match. Curls it just over the net. She had 5 match points in the game. That was, no, was that an error by Svitolina? Oh, that one's out. Okay. Match point number 6. There we go. Venus sends it long. Her earliest exit at Flushing Meadows since 2012 as she loses in straight sets.
Okay, world number 1, Novak Djokovic has never lost in the second round at Flushing Meadows, taking on Juan Ignacio Londero. Troubling scene for Joker before the match, getting his left shoulder massaged during practice. Now, midway through the opening set, Djokovic clearly in some pain as he hits a few backhands. Ensuing changeover, he takes a medical timeout where the trainer gives Djokovic more treatment on his shoulder area. But his backhand would improve as the match continued. Chases down the drop shot, comes up at an incredible angle. The defending champ would go on to take the opening set. Then, after fighting back from 3-love down to start the second, now back on serve, and watch this from Djokovic. Just a ridiculous backhand down the line. He'd eventually win the set in a tie-break. Joker, a perfect 46-0 and leading 2 sets to love at the U.S. Open, and he keeps rolling in the third, standing behind the baseline. Shows beautiful touch on the drop shot. Despite that early shoulder scare, Djokovic would win the match in straight sets as a 16-time Grand Slam champ moves on to the third round. Could you believe it? We're just 7 days away from the start of the NFL season, but will there be any big trades before kickoff? We discuss next. All right, Pirates take on the Phillies. Top 1, Vince Velasquez.
From his right side.
Snags a 101-mile-per-hour comebacker from Kevin Newman before promptly flipping it into his bare hand. Doesn't get much smoother than that. Swag. Meanwhile, Philly, known for its fan base, wonder why. So on their soft side, though, in the third, Bryce Harper fouls one off, and take a look at this. First base coach tosses it into the stands, passed off to this young fan who's overcome with joy. But Dan, look! Adults, I'm not sure why we don't do this. We steal from the kids. Look what she does. Gives it to a younger fan.
Pops is like, where'd that come from?
All right, still in the frame. Reese Hoskins lifts one to left. And check this out. The ball appears to bounce out for the ground rule double, but have another look at this thing as it stays in, allowing Bryce Harper to score all the way from first. One of the flukiest plays you'll ever see at the diamond. The ball rides along the rail, back into the play. Phillies, they win this 12-3, the final.
Have you ever seen a ball?
All right, so here's how things are shaking down in the National League Central and wild card standings after Tuesday's games. The Cards' loss combined with the Cubs' win means the gap in the Central back down to 2 games. The Nats, Cubs, Phillies, and Brewers all winning, so the Mets fall back a spot in that wild card race.
That wild card finish is going to be amazing.
I know. Well, the Central has just probably been the most interesting to watch. Baseball. We're almost there, guys.
You going to miss our walks?
No. I'd rather do like sneakers, Jordans for this walk. Like this.
So when you're
wear heels
hosting on SportsCenter on the desk over there,
yeah,
you just wear sneakers? Oh, like can't pull back the curtain?
I wear heels all the time, Dan.
Watch your cord there.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know I'm a hot mess, eh?
No.
I
Hey,
mean,
I'm here to help out.
help.
Last season, Leon Draisaitl, he scored 50 goals in a great season for him, but a disappointing season for the Oilers. And with the news of Jesse Puljujärvi heading to Finland, the 23-year-old shared his thoughts about the move at the BioSteel camp in Toronto on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously you want guys to pan out and you want guys to help you on your team. And but again, you know, it seems like he doesn't want to be on our team as of right now. You know, maybe that changes.
Draisaitl also discussed the progress of line mate Connor McDavid.
I'm not too concerned. I mean, obviously it was a major injury that needs to be healed fully to get back into contact. And, you know, I think he has people around him that know exactly what schedule he's on and know exactly what he needs and what he doesn't need.
Is it just me, or if you're an NHL player and you aren't at this BioSteel camp, are you like...
What are you really doing?
You're calling your agent. I'm seeing these guys. There's a lot of good players there.
The FOMO is real, but Draisaitl signing an 8-year, $68 million contract with the Oilers in 2017. Just a brutal 12 months for that group. All right, Wednesday, Cam Ward signed a one-day contract with the Hurricanes and then announced his retirement. Ward played 13 seasons at Carolina in 2006. His rookie year, he backstopped the Canes to their only Stanley Cup and took home the Conn Smythe. He leads the franchise in wins and shutouts. 35-year-old played his final season with Chicago, winning 16 games.
So a Conn Smythe, a Stanley Cup. He played 700 regular season games, finished with 334 wins, save percentage over 900. And from all indications, anyone that's played with him said one of the greatest teammates you ever have.
Yes, definitely leadership has been maybe the resounding vibe when it comes to talking about Cam Ward.
Hey, the Green Bay Packers, they held their annual Welcome Back luncheon Wednesday. Quarterbacks dressed up as characters from the 96 film Happy Gilmore.
This is awesome.
Including Aaron Rodgers, who dressed up as Hal, character which was played by Ben Stiller in the movie.
Mike Garafolo.
NFL Network star reporter Mike Garafolo.
There isn't a nicer guy on the planet than our NFL insider Mike Garafolo.
There he is, racing to get the stories. Mike, it's time for, it's a seemingly weekly Cowboys update. Jerry Jones, he's now saying that Ezekiel Elliott's contract dispute could roll into the season. Do you see an end in sight?
I do if the Cowboys offer to make Zeke the highest paid running back in the league. They have not done that to this point. That is going to be, I just don't see a deal happening without that. Now, there's other elements at play. There's cash flow, there's guarantees, there's all this stuff. But until they're willing to, on an annual basis, make him the highest paid running back, I just don't see any shot of a deal. But these are the kind of things that can change as you get closer to the start of the season. So we are now in crunch time. There has not been a lot of communication between the sides the last couple of days, maybe about a week, I'm told. I do expect that to change. The question is, can they find that progress in the coming days to get this thing done, get him into the facility on the practice field next week? Wouldn't be shocked if it does drag into the regular season.
And I want to know what you've heard about Andrew Luck. Yes, he retires at the age of 29, but we've seen quarterbacks play to an elite level at an older age. Look at Tom Brady. So is Luck done for good, or could he return down the road?
Let me start with the reporting, the fact-based portion of the program. For him to come back this year, he would have to pass through waivers, so he would basically be up for any team to grab. So I don't see him coming back in the short term this season. I think you're not going to see Andrew Luck in 2019. Now it's time for the guesswork, I guess you could say. I think at some point he's back. I do. I think it's way too young for him to retire. He's going to have good football left in him. Maybe once he finally gets healthy, he'll start feeling better. He'll realize, you know what, I can go back there and do what I used to love when injuries weren't a factor. I'll say at some point Andrew Luck is back on the field. May not be as a Colt, too, because the team might move on and get another quarterback at some point. But I'll say we have not seen the end of Andrew Luck on the field. Just a hunch.
Okay, good to hear. Appreciate it, Mike. When we come back, the greatest sports awards segment you will see in this hour. The Jennies are next.
It's time for the Jennies. We begin with the Pirates taking on the Phillies. Kevin Newman.
Right side.
Liner back to the mound, caught by Vince Velasquez. Whew. Little barehanded flip to the bare hand. It's called swag, Dan. Do you have swag?
Hell no. Cards and Brewers, Orlando Arcia. I always say if my father was still around, he'd be his favorite player because my dad's favorite word was arse. Tommy Edman, nice play at the hot corner. Even better grab by Paul Goldschmidt at first as they get Orlando Arcia.
All right, Cubs taking on the Mets. Chris Bryant pops up. Should be an easy out. However, Jonathan Davis and Ahmed Rosario, not so easy. Lack of communication, the ball falls. Just watch it fall. Just let it, yeah, fall.
Davis was having issues.
Red Sox and Rockies. Oh, you hear Rockies, you know it means Nolan Arenado. I believe he has the most Jannies of any other athlete alive today as he dives and starts a beautiful double play. I think they got the double play there. No, they didn't. It was not a double play.
All right, A's taking on the Royals. Max Chapman at the dish. Fly ball to shallow center. Diving catch by Brett Phillips. Superman.
Twins and White Sox. This one to the deepest part of the ballpark. Garcia at the wall, jumping, got it! Perfectly timed. It was high enough that he could wait and catch.
All right, Rangers, Angels. Brian Goodwin at the dish. Goes deep into center field, but Delino DeShields Jr. leaps. Catch of the year, it might be. Roms Goodwin at the home run.
Okay, so, yeah, see, I trust Hastings, although he's a man that's never tried a strawberry, so how much can you trust him?
He's never tried. Wait a second. Is this real life? He's
Yeah,
never,
this is real
he
life.
allergic?
No, he just never got around. He's never got around to
And
it.
y'all were coming at me for not ever eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That's okay. Are you allergic to peanuts?
No, I just have never tried. My mom cared about my lunches. She made great sandwiches.
You aren't missing much. They're overrated. When we come back, more things.
That's what I said.
I have a tough time paying attention sometimes.
I know. You know, you thought that we hosted a show together. It never happened.
Everyone in the control room just said in my ear, no kidding, all at once. Ugh, this is Labor Day weekend. 2 games on Monday. I wasn't saying to the Labor Day weekend. I was saying to the crew and the
And
control
they're
room.
saying it right back at you, Dan. Yeah.
Hope they make you blew it.
Listen, the Blue Jays' 2-game homestand with the Braves not only marked the return of Josh Donaldson to Toronto, but GM Alex Anthopoulos, who was back in the 6th, and he sat down with our very own Scott Mitchell.
Now that you can reflect on when you did leave in 2015 and the decision you made, what are the thoughts and the emotions that went into that decision for you?
Yeah, I thought about it for a while, and I know it's been documented and talked about. And I had really, the first time it entered, I'd said this before, the first time it even crossed my mind that I may not be coming back was the beginning of September. Prior to that, I had every expectation. And, you know, it just, obviously, that playoff run, we hadn't won the division yet, but, you know, that was, I kept it quiet, and the decision wasn't final. And, you know, the decision finally became, cemented, I guess, after the season was over, and I met with ownership at Rogers and Edward Rogers, and they were great. They were fantastic, and after speaking with them and spending time with them, I was going to stay, and the more I slept on it and thought about it, I just didn't feel like I could talk about it. It was, probably the right place for me to continue on and continue to stay. So, but look, things were going well, and it was a great year, and the city was on fire, the country was on fire, and so you can't change how you feel. And I said this at the time, I didn't want to make a decision based on financial terms, contracts, things like that, as much as ownership and Edward were fantastic. I was 38 years old at the time, and I didn't want to make a decision based on that. Still a young man, and felt I had a long career ahead of me, and felt it needed to make what was the right decision for me and the right fit for me.
How does it make you feel when you hear Mark Shapiro, Ross Atkins allude to the fact that you left the pipeline dry, some bad contracts on the books, and the franchise wasn't in a great position? I mean, what is your reaction to that?
That hasn't been, no one's ever directly said that to me. But I'm not, I hear things and told things and so on. But if no one's telling you that directly, I mean, all I can speak to is what I experienced. I deal with Ross now when it comes to trades and so on. He's been great. Dealing with Mark, the brief time I got to know him in the month of September, he was great as well. He gave me every opportunity to stay. So my personal interactions have been really good and respectful, and I've been treated very well. And like I said, I own the decision that I made. It was mine and mine alone. And I think, aside from all that, I think the organization is in a really good spot right now. Just seeing, we're preparing for this series. There's a ton of young talent on the team. I think they have a ton of young talent on the way. We know what this place can be when the team is back to winning again. And you just start seeing the pieces come together. Then the upside with the ownership and the financial resources they have, they could be a powerhouse again. And it looks like it's going to be soon.
Alex, thank you very much for your time.
Enjoyed it.
One of the guests on this week's Jay and Dan podcast is Daniel Dale from CNN. He's a Canadian, now works in Washington. He covers Trump on Twitter, and he reveals that his coworker's new chocolate bar is Coffee Crisp.
Ooh.
Yeah, they had never had it before.
Oh. All right, time now for the worst play of the day. Twins, White Sox, Miguel Sano scorches the ball to short. Not only does it get past Tim Anderson, but it also knocks him over. Oh, that's the worst.
Highlight of the night. This was labeled as possibly the catch of the year.
It's pretty good.
Very good catch by Delino DeShields. Brings it back in. Highlight of the night.
All right, time for you blew it. I was incorrect. I said in the Twins pack they were in the wild card hunt. It's not wrong, but they lead the Central by 3.5 games. Dan,
Okay.
you had problems with the word miserable in the Mets pack, and I blew it again. That was J.D. Davis who let the ball drop for the Mets and not Jonathan Davis. I mean, minor details, though, right?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure I called Chris Campoli a forward. In that top 10, he's a defenseman.
Look at you, putting yourself on the line.
I know.
Responsible.
Well, I did call him a friend of the show, so we should get his position right.
Facts.
And we have a Star Wars fan. You'll like this. Nomar Mazara has a lightsaber in the Texas dugout.
What are we doing?
That's
when
terrifying.
games are going on.
Yeah.